Is that for the shelter?
This is for our shelter, yeah. So our customer just left, so I said, well,
we're waiting
4 minutes to 12 o'clock.
You're doing that before lunch?
So I said, I might as well cut up a bit of rebar. This is the last piece. The rest is cut there. 1 second now. Yeah, so anyway, we're putting up a new shelter. What size is this? 12 by 10 by 24?
24, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be the same size as one we got down there now, where the old truck is going to stay. So we're going to do it a little differently. It's going to be done the same way we hooked up the first one. So I got the plates cut. See?
Your eyes are a little close together.
Yeah, so what I got done for you, you got to carry these down. So I got like handles made so you can carry them. See? What I got done is these are going to be welded to the pads of the shelter ribs, and then I'm just going to drive this down in the ground. I'm going to weld it over like I did before. That way the shelter is well grounded. Plus we have these rims. These are going to be buried in 4 corners with the rebar coming up, and that'll keep it well planted to the ground. So what we're going to do, there's been a bit of interest expressed in showing this thing. I'm going to show a bit of this one because this one is coming new out of the box. So I'm just going to show everybody what it looks like when we open up the box, and I'm going to show them different stages of doing it. But now there's 3 or 4 videos ahead of this one that I got to do. So by the time you see this video, it's going to be long done. So
That's right.
we're probably a week and a half behind on our videos. So I hope you enjoy this video, and we'll continue on as if we were normal.
Surprise!
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now.
That's what you're doing now, welding in there.
This is going to be a 4-corner post. Buried with the backhoe.
Yeah.
Then when they're buried, the plate will get welded onto that. And then the rib foot, which will be on the ground, will be getting welded to that. And I mean, like if the wind picks it up 3 feet down the ground in 4 corners, plus each one of these for the other 12 ribs are going to have rebar put down sideways and welded. If it comes up, then, well, God help us all.
Well, that's right. We'd probably be gone too.
Well, I mean, you know, that's it. So yeah, so that's the system in which I anchor them down with. And,
That's right, because we did it before and it's worked.
oh yes, not a problem.
Yeah.
See, when we go to open up the package, you're going to see the anchors that's supplied. They're only little screw anchors
Yeah.
that goes in the ground, and then you tie them on with a cable. I didn't want that. You know, it might work for some areas, but it's not going to work for here.
No.
We get a humongous amount of wind at times, and when I put this down, I want this to stay down. So I got to weld the other 2, and then they're done.
Okay. I'll weld it.
Yeah, they're done.
Oh, welded and loaded.
Yeah, so all my plate is there, and my spikes are all down in the back, and the 4 rims, 1 for each corner. So I'm just going to go lay this down in the area. Then I'm going to come back. We got the parts set.
We do, yeah, just delivered.
Okay. So that means back to work. Of course,
Yeah.
technically I shouldn't be back to work yet because I'm working on my dinner time.
Yeah, that's right. It's still lunch. Yeah,
That's all right. I got a lot accomplished, so.
Yeah. all down?
Yeah, it beats that, don't it? Where's the keys to that?
The keys are in the car. You're gonna open up that box?
Yeah, so let's have a look-see and see what we got here.
What number is that? 'Cause we got one of two.
This is box 1 of 2.
Okie dokie.
So, I'm assuming that if it's box 1 of 2, the first box is going to be 1, which means that the ribs should be in the box.
Depends. Ribs could be first, or the canopy, I guess.
Well, you can't put the cover over unless you got the ribs.
No.
I mean, you know, we got a skeleton. We weren't made with skin and then the bones added later.
Yeah. Remember when we went to buy that one?
I know.
Two of the same number.
2 of the same number. 2 of 2, 2 of 2.
Yep.
So we're going to have a little look-see here now. See what we have. Just look.
What? Oh. So they must have halved it up. Some pipe there and some pipe in the other one, you think?
I guess. See, that don't make sense. But I know what they did it for. Protect the pipe. Destructions.
There you
Destructions.
go. Instructions.
Here's the color of it, brown.
Yep. Brown.
So we have destructions. So what we will have to do...
Which we shouldn't need because this is not our first rodeo.
No, but the only thing is now we got to go get the other friggin' box because there's going to be stuffs in the other box.
I know, we want to make sure all our stuffs is there before we get going.
Well,
on
exactly. So we'll go up now, we'll get the other box, and we'll do an unboxing again. Better.
Alrighty,
Because
another
you're kind of behind it. Here's what it looks like. Oh yeah, lots of pipe in that. Maybe the reason why they split it up is because it would have made one box really heavy. You know.
They're both pretty heavy. Imagine all the papers in one. Of course, the covers are heavy too.
Because while I'd be sitting in the truck, I'd have a hell of a hard time watching you try to get that in the back of the pickup yourself.
Oh, now who are you kidding?
I'll tell you something, there's a lot of weight to that box.
That's what I'm saying. Even the cover's a lot of weight.
Yeah. So you check and make sure that hardware like that don't go through the cover. Which it hasn't. That's good. That's a plus.
That's a plus.
There it is inside.
This is a nice heavy duty one though, isn't it?
Oh, there's no doubt. The round top is always the strongest, right? And these are the straps to tie down your cover. These are feet.
Feet?
Yeah.
This must be those anchor things in this box.
Yeah.
Talking about?
Yeah, either that or here. What's this? Well, this is the roll-up kit for rolling up the thing. Remember the pipe that's in it?
Right.
There's a little change that I make with that stuff. So we really don't need that right now. So the goal today is going to be to assemble the ribs and to get the exact location for the 4 corner hubs and dig them down and get them anchored. And then the next step would be to weld them in place, drive down all the rebar and weld that to the legs itself, and then put the covering on. in theory, that
plan.
sounds fast. It usually don't go that fast. Now, these are these foolish little things that,
Anchors?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, folks, don't laugh.
Yeah,
can't
but
get it
that's
as a box.
probably for city boy sheds.
Now, I asked the folks not to laugh, and here you are going to kinks.
I told you, that's for city boys.
Now imagine screwing that into the ground and expecting something the size of that to hold it.
Not going to happen in Newfoundland. I don't know about anywhere
Listen,
else.
I'm going to tell you something. You wouldn't tie down a cabbage plant with that here in Newfoundland. Huh? Really, eh? Oh, now
Sorry for laughing.
I understand that it's just the economics of it all. But boys, I'm going to tell you something. That's not cutting the mustard here. So that's why we're going to go with that dizing over there.
The dizing over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Because when you get these gale force winds in the winter, and you got these things down on the ground, you says to your wife, boy, you better go out and sit in that shelter and hold it down until the wind dies down. It's not good, boys.
No, it's not good.
You know. Probably not going to happen, too.
I was going to say, not only is it not good, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, there you go. See. You can act brave on film.
You don't want your shit ended up on Kinmount Road.
No, that's right. The first year we put up that shelter, we had a guy post, and the city of St. John's is about an hour away from here, and Kinmount Road is the main drag in that city. And he posted, and he said, had two of them, he said, in St. John's, he said, they blew across Kinmount Road. I said, well, I got no worries because I'm nowhere near Kinmount Road. End of conversation.
Well, it's
Yeah.
true.
Well, it's true, yeah, but
Sure.
you know, I guess he didn't appreciate the
Humor?
humor, yeah. And this here is new. These here are new duplickies.
Your new
Now.
flickies?
Yeah, these are a new design. So,
What are you designed for?
well, I'm going to show you. Now we'll go over into the other one, and I'm going to show you. And actually, it's a nicer design. So let's take a run over. You can keep that running. And we'll have a look around. Don't trip over stuff, because Medicare don't cover the camera, and they don't cover the cover.
Oh my.
Yeah. So you come on in here, and we shall show you what this is for. Oh boy, it's warm in here.
New design? Oh gosh, it is warm in here.
This here is going to go like that.
Ah.
It replaces
Before we
these
had
plastic
those
ones.
plastic ones
Yeah.
with rubber, but the plastic.
Yeah, plastic, yeah. So,
So why metal better?
well, metal is better because plastic can perish, but the other thing is too, is on the back here, there's a carriage bolt, and I guess maybe what's happening could have been chafing through the, you know, but here now you can see it goes through here, right? Now, guys, another thing here, when anybody's putting this stuff together, what I like to do is everywhere you've seen a join, I like to tape it, and that way it keeps it from rubbing through the material.
That's true, yeah, it's done all of the way
Yeah, it's done all the way around, yeah. So, now remember, folks, this has been, well, this is what, 4 years old now?
on this shelter.
Yeah, this is, and it's lasted, you know, and it's just its second location.
It is.
So, okay.
Gonna hold the door open for me?
It's freaking warm in there, eh?
Yep.
It's so warm.
It is warm. Now what?
Well, I guess what we're going to do now is we're going to assemble one rib. And we're going to show everybody what the rib looks like. And then we're going to assemble the other 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 altogether.
Okay.
So we'll do that, and then we'll start to assemble.
Finish unpacking?
Yeah, so we spread it all out, as you can see.
Yep.
And we did the inventory. And the only problem we got, we're supposed to have 13 of these.
12, is it, or 12? Yeah, 12. 12 on the list, we counted 15.
110, yeah, 12, and we got 15. So we got enough to make a shed about that big. An extra one.
an extra one.
Yeah, so, okay, well the next thing is start to assemble the ribs.
Okay.
So you can see we got the ribs laid out, or a rib laid out.
You do?
What we're going to do now is we're going to take those bolts and put them there and sort them out, because that's a pain in the arse when you got to try to keep combing through all of that.
Yeah, picking through them.
Just as well take your time and enjoy the day, you know. And there's different lengths of those, so I like to use the box for that. And that's what we'll do. So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
when
so
you're putting the ribs together, there's here. Give me the instructions.
instructions.
You can see the numbers are marked by each rib, and the numbers are stamped. Stamped or stomped?
They say stamp.
Well, they forgot to stomp this one. Well, it's stomped, but they didn't stomp it good. So, but anyway, this is pipe 10223, and 10223 is this one right here. So, and the end pieces, each end piece is going to have those curly ones, like the hockey stick ones. So
That's the front and the end.
yes, exactly. So
Correct.
let's put down that camera, and then you can help me sort this out so we can get going. Hey.
All right, let's get going.
Cool.
Okay, so that's the skeleton together.
That's the ribs, yeah.
That's the ribs.
Now on the end pieces, this is going to be the back end. So it's critical that you have all the exposed bolts on the facing the inside. Because if you don't, it's going to cut through the fabric, right?
Okay.
Right? Yeah, and the same thing with the front. In other words, the bolt should point inwards so you don't ruin the fabric. Now we got to start putting up the end piece here, and then each individual rib. You almost need 3 people, but we'll make do.
Yeah, but we only got 2.
That's it. We got to make do with 2.
Gotta make do with 2.
Yep. Well, at least it's upright.
At least it's upright.
I don't know what it is with the instructions.
We got 3 up and 1 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you get up to those. This is the front of the building. If anybody's putting up one of these, pay attention to these 3 braces here. They're a different length than the other ones, and they're going to be the three of the longest braces, and they've got to be used at the front of the building first. Okay?
Yeah.
There it says there. Look, connect the rib, cross ribs, 2031, right there at the front. Connect the remaining ribs, 2030, which is over there, all along. So
Start off, it goes right or you're
yeah,
wrong.
or you're all arsed up.
You're all arsed.
You're going to be all arsed up and pissed off, and
Oh boy.
things are going to happen, and you're going to wonder why you started the project, and you're going to wish you never had an old truck or a tractor or the land to put it on.
Or the land to put it on.
Yeah.
Listen, I tell you what else is going to happen.
What?
I'm going to get supper.
Well, some thirsty too, some hot.
Yeah, really thirsty.
Oh,
How
geez,
about we take a break here?
I'd like to see about 3 snowdrifts going up the hill. Oh,
It's about 5:30 now, I
come
guess.
on, winter. Oh yeah, it's going to rain, is it?
I don't know.
Come on, we're going to be out in the rain. What do you think?
I think it's a good job.
Holy smokes, hard work.
At least it's a little cooler now.
I put the braces in on the bottom. It's premature because they usually only go on when you're putting the fabric on, because the fabric goes through, this goes through a loop in the fabric, and you push down on these, tighten them up to tighten the fabric. But where I'm going to be moving this now to dig the holes in the 4 corners, I needed to find out exactly where the corners were going to be. So we measured diagonally to make sure it was square, and now I know exactly where the holes got to be. I'm going to start to dig them with the backhoe. So that's the reason why I put the braces in now, so that we could easily move it. So I'll just get my stuff there now. Where's my stuff stick
I don't know.
for spraying it?
It keeps it in place and gives it strength while you're moving it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so... Because what we'll do is we'll mark them,
Yeah.
then move that over, and
Yeah.
then dig,
Yeah.
you know, and that'll take care of that, right? You know, roundabouts is not going to be dead on because my plate will take care of the rest of it, right? Then we gotta go digging.
Digging.
Digging. Ooh.
Smelly, yeah? Running out.
I'm out. That'll do. I know where it goes. Yeah, I got another can up there, but I don't want to
No.
use it just for that.
Oh, got the spot.
It's pretty cool, that machine, eh? For
Yeah, isn't it?
you know, they do have a weakness though. They crack off here, so you can see I did a repair. Now it's stronger than it ever was. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move this over now. We're going to dig it. Everything else is tight. Remember, guys, when you're putting these things together, especially on the ends, you make sure that your bolts are pointing that way, so your fabric don't rub off on the studs like you see here, right?
Okay.
You see they're flat here.
Yep.
And again, well, what the next step is now to dig the 4 holes, put those old wheels down, have the rebar stuck up. Then tomorrow we're going to get a lot of rain.
Yeah.
So but that works out to our advantage because that'll settle that stuff in.
Yeah.
Yep. Then I'll come back. I'll put all the plates down. I'll weld them to the foot to the feet, and then I'll take the rebar and I'll drive it down with the ground rod driver. And then I'll true up the sides, right? Because the sides are kind of coming in out like a dog's stomach. And then we'll put the fabric on her, I guess. Then, but she's nice and level,
Oh, yeah, it is.
so it's coming along good.
Yeah, it sure is.
So let's go digging.
Digging.
Digging. enough for me.
Enough for you is good enough for me.
Yeah. That's where it's going to be. Right there.
Right there?
Like that.
Like that?
Like that.
Fill it in now.
Oh, God. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Get the rocket there again now.
Put the kid back in.
Time for the thumb. I gave him the thumb.
You did. Yep, you gave it the thumb.
I gave him the thumb. Yeah.
Try it again.
Try it again. First you don't succeed. Try again.
Sure, put your back into it.
And I'd like to get it level if I could.
That's more work.
You gotta be right.
That'll do it.
Gotta be right. Hit the hole.
Deep, eh? Only 3 feet.
Oh yeah, it's 3 feet. Close enough to it. been a long day.
Long day.
So as you can see, the frame is together. It's moved over now because we got the wheel rims buried. And we're supposed to get a lot of rain tomorrow, so that'll help it settle. And I guess the next fine day we get, we'll put it back in place, get her leveled up again, and then we'll start welding the steel plates back on. And well, you know, the hardest part now is really done.
Yeah,
A little bit of welding to do, that's not so serious. And so we'll be back. Of course, it's going to seem like right away, but it's not. It's going to be days away. So we'll see you when we get back, folks.
So, you got her in place?
Yeah, she's in place. She's all squared up. And what I'm doing is I'm just going over these edges. Now this is stuff they don't show in the instructions, but it keeps the tarp from chafing on the edge.
True, yeah.
'Cause you know, you get a windy day, this stuff is coming and going like a dog's stomach. So you want it to, you know, and it's essential that you use the same color tape.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
That helps it along
Oh yeah.
greatly?
Yes, I'm telling you.
I don't think I should be down here.
Well, I'll tell you, I just heard some thunder, and they said that there's risk of lightning. And so I think what I'm going to do, this is how you do it. So I got a couple of steam jennies, well actually 2 or 3 steam jennies up there to repair. So I'm going to go on and continue on at them.
Oh my gosh!
Here. And that way you can continue on and finish this. Now don't worry about the lightning because this is all powder coated.
You're missing the point altogether.
You know.
Well, I'm not powder coated.
And it's not the tallest structure here because the light pole is there.
Well,
Maybe what you should do, you should call your mother, get your mother to come in and hang on to the light pole while you're doing the taping. And that way, when I'm up in the garage, I'll be able to reset the breakers and everything when everything kicks out.
oh my, you got it all thought out.
I got it all figured out. The only thing is when you're down here now and the lightning strikes you and stuff, like don't grab onto the tractor because it could be detrimental to the electrical system on the tractor. And Medicare don't cover the electrical system on the tractor. That's the sad part about living in Canada. You know?
Wow.
So-
Aren't you something?
Yeah. So I was good enough to do the lower pieces first, so you can get up there on the ladder and do the other ones. It's aluminum ladder too, right?
I told you I'm getting out of here because it is probably going to lightning.
Well, they say it's supposed to be bad. So, you know, what can I do? You know, it's all a risk. Life's a risk.
I know.
You can't be worried about getting struck by lightning.
But how come I'm the one got to take the risk?
Well,
That's the problem.
can you repair the steam jetty?
No.
Well, I rest my case. Yeah, no, I was going to come down and do the welding, but it's too risky. The sky could open up at any minute.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty dark.
So I'm just going to tape up these joints, and I'm going to call it a day.
Yeah.
The next few days is supposed to be nice out. Basically, all we have to do now is just weld those pads down to the plates,
yep,
and put the rebar down through, drive them down in each one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal. And then we'll wrap it, you know?
And we'll do a wrap.
We'll show the wrap then, you know, when we do it, right? But yeah, so we'll be back. Well, it won't be today. It'll be tomorrow. Be tomorrow.
Tomorrow, weather permitting.
Weather permitting.
Because I'm not coming out here in the lightning.
Poor attitude, see? You're not a risk taker.
For upper management.
You're not a risk taker. You should be saying, look, honey, you go in where it's safe. I don't want nothing happening to you. But no, honey, you stay out here and you do the taping.
No, this is a job for your lovely now. You need to call your lovely. I always talked about your lovely.
You're lovely. Yeah, nah, she don't have nothing to do with this.
So this is a job for her.
No. Well, if something happens to me here, you'll have to call your stud muffin.
Stud muffins don't know anything about this.
No, that's the worst, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll come back and we'll do a little bit of welding, show them a little bit of welding tomorrow, and then we'll show them how we're going to wrap it.
Sounds like a plan.
Hey, cool.
Yep, cool. What are you beating up? I heard you banging on pipe.
Yeah, I'm beating a pipe. Well, you know how you get a loaf of bread now and they tell you there's less calories?
Yeah, there is, because
Well,
it's less bread.
Less bread, it's a smaller friggin' loaf.
You got that right.
You know, the same thing with the cookies, you know, like the ones with the wheat in the middle, like Oreo.
Yep.
You know, they tell you less calories in the box because the cookie's only half as round.
Everything is going smaller.
Well, guess
Fuck
what?
the prices.
ShelterLogic figured out a way to do it.
Really?
Yeah, well, what they did, see, there's not many people get the opportunity to buy a ShelterLogic 1 year and 4 years later buy the same ShelterLogic. The problem is that they made some changes. And one of the changes they made is support braces. Here's the front wall, and here's the rear wall. Well, there's supposed to be braces that go from one to the other. I'll show you when we get down there. They no longer exist with the ShelterLogic, with that particular model. So, I had some old pipe out there that I used for a top rail of a chain link fence. And I'm squatting the ends of it, and I'm going to make my own braces.
Oh boy.
Because see, with those darn things, is like, it's a nice day out there now. It's plus 11 degrees Celsius. You're not going to get, you know, you're not going to die of a heat shock. What do you call it? The
Heat stroke?
heat stroke.
There you go.
So anyway, but it's a nice day. But there's going to come days when we're going to get a typhoon, hurricane, or whatever coming through.
It's a lot of tropical storms.
Tropical
lately.
storm, and those things there, you're going to be glad that you didn't cut any corners and you had it well planted to the ground. I mean, sure, we had a wooden garage here somewhere in Newfoundland blow over while Buddy's Corvette was in it and beat the living daylights out of the Corvette.
No, it did.
This was a wooden, full, wasn't it? Full garage.
Wooden garage.
Yeah, it just, the wind picked it up, went on. So before I get into the welding, I'm going to make up these things. It's not a big job, and
You need 4, 2 on the end and 2 in the front, isn't it?
2 in the end, yeah, 2 in the back, 2 in the front.
Yeah.
Because that's what you got to do. And of course, this is what I'm making them exactly well, close to exactly, close facsimile to what was here now, right? So basically,
That'll definitely help on the strength. We noticed
Oh.
that though when we got the shell up.
Yeah.
It was a little-
it was wobbly, but it's not now. In the meantime, now it's not welded down or anything, and you know they are all alive until you get them. And the cover itself adds strength. But when I didn't see those supports going across, I said, I don't like this. That smells a rat here. So, but anyway, I'm just going to squat the ends. You'll see how I'm doing it. I will swap the ends like this. We put it in like that. Just like that.
Ready? We're with you so far. We're
Yeah.
following.
And then I'm going to put it in like that. And then I'm going to go squat like that. When you see the OEM ones that's on it, they will look very close to the same thing. All right, cool.
Very
Like, you don't need to be a master fabricator to
that.
do what I'm doing here. And I'll just go over here to the Edwards ironwork. And I will just nibble the corners off because the fabric don't touch it. Right? And then I will take the grinder with the flat disc and I'll just round out the edge and drill it out like that one. And then that'll be good. So when we go back down now, I'll be able to show the folks at home exactly what I'm talking about. This is another thing that I don't care too much about. You get about 6 or 7 of these and you join them all together. And this is what's supposed to go on the bottom part of the door so you can roll up the door. Well, it's hollow and it keeps coming apart normally. So what I did, or what you did this morning, you ordered in some schedule 40.
I did, yep.
Yeah. So
40 pipe.
this is all going to be one piece, and that's going to go through the hem. And what I like about that, it's longer. Well, not so much longer, but it's thicker and it's heavier.
Yeah.
So that when you're rolling up, the door rolls up much nicer.
Yeah, it
And
keeps
you
it
never
tight.
have to, you never have to worry about it coming apart like this stupid stuff. So I understand that manufacturers trying to do this as efficiently and as cheaply as they can, and not everybody.
Shipping is a factor too.
Oh yes,
So
and not everybody got welding gear and stuff to make up this, but this is how I'm doing it. So I'm trying to avoid these tropical storms and seeing that thing going airborne and probably pitching in Ireland somewhere. So that's my goal, is not to have that happen.